Okay, I'm going to do a video today on how to work with some soft slabs a bit. Okay, so one thing I want to start out with is just showing you a way to cut some slabs without having to necessarily go to the slab roller to do the work. I have a bag of clay here. I'm going to cut off kind of an oversized chunk. Put it down here. I kind of slap it down on there pretty good. Could even widen it out a bit in both directions. A little bit better, bigger base to start out with. Good enough. Now I have a twisted wire here. It's just a piece of monofilament, two pieces of monofilament that have been woven together and tied off with these two rings. And I want to use that because it can leave a pattern in the clay. I have these two sticks here. I'm just going to hold the wire across the two sticks and pull it through like that. Okay, that leaves a nice pattern on the piece. So this might be hard to see on camera, but it's a very nice pattern. I got an even slab here, so I'm going to put this one to the side for a minute. I'm going to cut another one. I'm going to turn this over. The other side. Okay. So now I have two pretty even slabs. What I'm going to do now is throw the slab out again a bit because these slats I'm using are kind of thick. They're about ½ an inch, it looks like. I want to have my slab be a little bit thinner. So I'm going to throw my slab out a bit more, like that. And that will also stretch my pattern. So the pattern is getting stretched out a bit. Okay? So now I have that. What I'm going to do is just any tools I have around. I'm going to use this to create some markings in the piece of clay. Like that. I'll come back, use the back end of my trimming tool. Make some nice circles. And I'm just showing this to you as an option, to create pattern on your slab prior to building. Okay? So now I have this piece. Give 1 second. I grab my piece of canvas, okay, and lay it down here. Take this, I'm going to lay it face down on my canvas, like that. And then I'm going to cut it a little bit more into a circle. Okay, like that. And then have a bucket. It's just a little bucket. You can use different sizes. Depends on how big of a dome you want to make. But my goal here is to kind of make two halves of a sphere or a spherical shape. So I'm going to lift this up put this on my bucket here. And then start to kind of push it down, lift it, kind of push it, rotate it around a bit. This out of the way. Push down into the bucket. So I have a spherical shape. I'm going to come back with my knife now. I'm going to use the edge of the bucket, kind of cut off so I get an even sphere, half sphere, and a sphere. Like this. Okay. You can use a big dry sponge if you want, just to help push it down in there. If you want to, just because it doesn't push in one little spot, it kind of distributes the pressure around. Okay, so now I have that. What I'm going to do next, got a piece of newspaper here. I'm going to take a newspaper, ball it up, enough. I want to be able to fill my hemisphere with the paper, like that. Then I'm just going to flip this whole thing over, like that. Take off my bucket, remove my cloth, and now I have a hemisphere. I'm going to let this set up. Okay? In the meantime, let's put this over here. I'm going to use my wire again, cut off the slab, eyeball it, see if it's even. So I have a nice pattern there. Again, I'm going to start to throw this out. I'm going to keep my pattern up. I'm not going to turn it over so I get this stretching quality to the pattern. All right. So what we're trying to do for the project is create a vase shape. Okay. So what I'm thinking I want to do with mine is to kind of create a dome and then a kind of a funnel type shape to create my my stem for the vase. And then I'll make some sort of little base. Okay, so for my stem, I'm going to use this piece. I'm going to cut it a little bit of an arc, like that. And then over here, I'm going to start to roll it over, overlap it like that. I want to have a funnel shape, right? So let's see, a little narrower, like that. So I can kind of push it down, my inside finger, push down over here. If you have a dowel or something like that, you can shove it inside and kind of roll it over on the dowel. Let's see. this metal pipe. It's not ideal. A wooden dowel would work better because it would absorb some of the water. This dowel, it might start to stick. The clay might want to start to stick to the metal. But okay, so now I have a piece like that. And I can decide whether I want to leave this kind of organic edge on the top, or I could cut it off straight, whatever pleases you aesthetically, okay? So now I have these parts. I would make another dome here, and we would have our parts for our vase. What I want to do next is show you, once I've made some pieces earlier, and I've been having them dry outside for a little bit, so they're a little more leather hard. I'm going to bring this piece over here. Turn this over. I'm going to go ahead and take my paper out. And it's pretty stiff now, so it's going to keep its shape. Like that. Okay. I just need to grab a little water. 1 second. Okay, so my sponge, use a smaller sponge. I just happen to have this big one here, and I'm going to wet my edge here, like that, and wet my edge here, like this. Okay, and I'm going to find my tool, pin tool. And I'm going to score my edges. This. I want to get some slurry on there, some slip forming on the edge. So I want to cross hatch my piece. Might want to come back, wet it a second time, score it a little bit more. So I have some nice slip forming on my edge there. Same thing over here. So that's pretty good, I think. Come here, bring my piece over, get it lined up as best as I can, and just start to, maybe you can pick it up like this, and just squeeze my edges together. I am not really trying to hide my process here. I'm trying to let the process show so that it becomes part of the aesthetic of the piece. It is important to get this sealed, though, because you want this item to hold water. If it's going to be a vase, you want to be able to put flowers in it. Add water, so you want to make sure these are squeezed together nicely. sealed up. And decide if I want to make that fold over a bit, or just leave it as an edge. Okay, so now I have my sealed piece here. Okay, I can decide whether I want my vase to sit this way. Maybe I want it to sit this way. Now I have a coil ring I made earlier that I'm going to use for my vase. So I'm going to take a look here. I'm going to see if I like it like this more. And this is going to be my piece like that. Or do I like it like this more? I think I kind of like it this way better. So I think I'm going to go ahead and try to attach it on like that. So what I'm going to do is get this wet. I'm going to form it a little more oval to match the base. I'm going to kind of mark the base a bit so I know where to score. Mark it inside my ring. Like that. I'm going to score this. Got ready. Now this. I'll start to score something here. Like that. Sponge, a little bit more, or a little bit more. Okay. And take my piece, put it on there. Really get it down on there. Good. And I'm coming here underneath. And push the clay together to make sure it's attaching inside my coil. And that. Okay, so I got it on the inside, smoothed out all the way around. And come over here, I'm going to turn it over. Take a look at it. Pound it a little bit down. And I'm going to start to smooth it in and make sure it's attached down there. Straighten it up a bit. Right. Okay, so I like that pretty well. Now I'm going to come here and decide how I want this to sit. So, kind of like that. I'm just going to mark it into my pin tool around like that. And I'm going to wet this. Start to score it. Let me score this. All right, so next, it's a little bit of a decision here. I am going to not make my hole in the middle there yet. I'm going to wait to do that because I want the trapped air that's in here, which is giving this whole section support, to stay, so I can help support this heavier piece on top. And also when I'm pushing down like this, it's helping to keep it together. You got to be a little bit careful. You don't put too much pressure, or it could pop like a balloon. So you want to be careful how much pressure you're putting on it. But you want to put enough pressure to really make sure those two pieces are together. And then I want to come in there, maybe just with a little wooden tool, and kind of just start to push it together to make sure it's attached well. That. My finger, could wet it a little bit. Just come into there. That. Make sure it's attaching well. So you just want to add a bit. There. So here we go. So we have a vase. You can see the base. That's the idea. It can be kind of funky, offset, and that's all okay. So once this sets up a bit more, I'll come inside with my knife, and I'll open up the hole on the inside, okay? All right, so that's it for this demo. Thank you.